Okay, so I'm going to ask this question. Is anyone else having this issue with Timeless? I swear, right, I've been grinding some insane games. I was trying to build a variation of an old modern deck I used to play where the whole premise of it was denying your opponent's fetch lands. So it was stifle effects, can't search your library effects, exploding your lands effects. I made like a variation of it and tried to play it in Timeless on Arena. Now it's not perfect, it's terrible and very rarely got anything resolved. Biggest hits I got was Ashiok's denying opponents one fetch land because they didn't read Ashiok's static ability. But the biggest issue I was just having was, and it's going to sound very cynical to say this, is I was having so many people just quit, and it's not even, as you'll see in this video going here, it wasn't even that people were quitting because, I got them with a turn 1 fetch and they didn't have a land. I can understand that. It's the same as when I used to play Boris Prison. I would drop a Blood Moon and my opponent would scoop because they didn't have any coloured mana of what they needed. Same thing happens here actually. Next video is a Blood Moon match where our opponent resolves a Blood Moon, they can't cast anything, I don't cast anything, I don't give up, I keep going, and then our opponent times out. Now I would say that it's probably like bad connections on the opponent's part, but this was happening so frequently. Is this happening to anyone else? Is Timeless... It feels like in Timeless we're getting opponents that are like, oh yeah, I want my turn 1 Ragavan, turn 2 Bowmasters. If I don't get that, I'll see what my opponent does, but if they play something slightly better than me, I'll quit out. And yeah, I mean, I've wanted to do that hundreds of times. There's literally matches where my opponent will go turn 1 Steam Vents, turn 1 Ragavan, and I'll feel like, well, I've already lost this game because I don't have an answer immediately in my hand. But, as I said before, that's why now every list I'm running currently in Timeless Experimentation has literally 4 Fatal Push main board to kill Ragavan and Bowmasters. And yeah, it is literally turning into another Rakdos format for me anyway. Well, it's Rakdos, Grixis, and Izzet. I've run into plenty of people playing blue-red Delver control basically, with Snapcasters, Ragavan, and, well, there's no Delver, but you know what I'm saying. You can see here, our first opponent here, we've been having a good match. They're also playing a 5-color deck, so I genuinely don't understand. They had a really bad start. This is something I've noticed a lot as well in Timeless, is a lot of times opponents seem to keep questionable opening hands. Like you saw in that first matchup there, how they literally kept 2 lands and just prayed to draw another one. I mean, I've said a million times, my policy is, if I look at a hand and go, as long as I draw X, I'm not keeping that hand, because you never draw the X. But yeah, it's been really good back and forth here. I've actually been very surprised with the way certain things have gone. Like, Oko has not truly dominated anywhere. I've seen Zudex just ruffle stomp. Zudex playing Ragavan as well, which is hilarious to me, and Bowmasters. They're just backing it up with more threats. But that deck has also kind of dropped off. In fact, while we're doing this, let's look at the... Yeah, Goldfish hasn't even done a meta for the Timeless yet. I guess because there's been no Timeless events, I guess. I wonder what the user submitted decks are like for Timeless. Let's have a look, see. Yeah, well, literally the top row, I'm not even joking, I can't show you this, is Bowmasters, Lurus, Bowmasters, Bowmasters, Bowmasters. Wow, that is a... And then the second row is, yeah, everything. So yeah, that's ultimately one of the other things I'm having problems with. Not problems with, but it's very obvious to me that Timeless is settling into a you must have certain cards to win the game. The one thing I've found great as well though is Zudex might have dropped off a little bit, but our opponent's burn has returned. Like, this is mono red and Rakdos burn. I know that Goldfish did a deck on it. Sadly, I don't have any matches here. I only ran into it once and I got land screwed in game 1, and game 2 they had, no joke, I think they had free Skewer the Critics and Lightning Bolts in their opening hands. So that was an experience. But while we're here though, let's look at, see if there's any data on the format, because as I said before, it's turning into, it's not even turning into modern, it's turning into a, oh, you're going to run into these 4 cards every time: Ragavan, Bowmasters, Lurrus, and Counterspell. I've said a million times, Companion wasn't a broken mechanic, Lurrus was a broken card, because Wizards can never design a graveyard mechanic that's actually balanced without breaking at least one card. So let's look at cards, Popular Decks metagame. No wait, hold on. Popular cards staples. Is Timeless on here? It is, but there's no data yet for Timeless. This is a little concerning. How long has Timeless been a format? Let's find out. It was, wow, 4th of December. Hold on, no, 4th of December it was announced. On the 12th of December it went live, so we are literally just over a month into Timeless. We've had no events on Arena for Timeless. Interesting. The biggest issue, like I said before, I have with Timeless as well is I don't feel comfortable. Spending an absurd amount of wildcards. I don't want full play sets of the fetch lands. Like, I've got one of each to play in Brawl for fun. But if I make a full play set of them, I'm only going to play it in Timeless. And honestly, my enjoyment of Timeless, it's not there. Genuinely, I feel it's literally, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Legacy. I play it for fun occasionally, and I feel like Timeless might be a similar thing. But I feel like Timeless is going to have the same issue that a lot of people have with Legacy, of like, why would I invest to play this format? And with the current design, like a month later, with literally every deck being Bowmaster.deck, you are kind of in a point where if you're not playing a full play set of Ragavan and a full play set of Bowmasters in your deck, you're going to probably be left behind. But then at the same time, if we do forge all these cards, then what happens going forward from there? What happens if I play 4 Mythics to get my Ragavans and then they go, actually, we're going to restrict Ragavan, he's too prevalent in the format. Do I get refunds for Ragavan? What is the refund policy of Timeless? Because they're not banning cards, they're restricting cards, which to me feels like another BS way of them getting you with more stuff of, well, you need to get, well, you can still play the card, so we don't need to refund you. I think what I'm saying is Timeless might take a backseat for a bit, particularly in content-wise. I mean, I'm gonna brew around it still. It's gonna be one of these formats where I bounce to it. For example, if I get bored of Explorer, I'll bounce into Brawl. If I get bored of Brawl, I'll bounce into something else. It might be a fun itch to scratch every now and again, but put it this way, a month on, I am not feeling this as something I want to play every week. Like, I am excited every week to grind out some Explorer matches and see where we're going. Can I try something new? I'm always up for brewing on something new that's coming into the format or created, and Timeless, I'm just not there. I think it's going to be literally, ironically, like casual Legacy for a lot of people. Legacy is something that a lot of established players I know will occasionally be like, oh man, you know what, I'm gonna just scratch an itch to play these stupidly powerful cards. You know, I mean, I've got my mono red stompy deck with Blood Moons. I feel like, you know, trying to get a turn 1 Blood Moon and go for it. You'll play a couple games of it, you'll get Force of Will, Dazed or whatever, and you'll be like, I've scratched my itch now. I don't feel the need to come back to this format. I genuinely feel that that's what Timeless is going to become, and what it is becoming, particularly in the ranked queues. As I said before, I've been playing a lot of ranked just to try and test the meta, since there's no statistics for it anywhere. And yeah, it's basically turn 1 Ragavan, turn 2 Bowmasters, or it's turn 1 4th Season to turn 2 Bowmasters. I mean, heck, there might even be a form. Maybe that's what I'm going to secretly have to do, is brew a deck that literally does not care about drawing cards. That all effects are like Niv effects, where they put your cards into your hand. Or maybe I just go full creature. So yeah, fortunately this might be time up for Timeless for the format going forward. I think that, not for the format going forward, sorry, that was unnecessarily grub. For me going forward, it's not something I have a desire to play. The initial investment, even as someone established as myself who's played Arena for years, it's just not there. I mean, I have no desire to use rares and wildcards to craft into a format where, unless it's like SS plus tier, SSR plus tier cards, they're not going to have a playable impact in the format. So Timeless content will be sporadically on, but I think we're probably gonna see more historic content. I mean, I do have a couple of videos I might do just for fun, like trolling with alchemy, where I make a purely 100% alchemy deck and play in Timeless just to pee off all these old heads that quit after you just play a single alchemy card. That'll be a fun little thing to do. Maybe that could be a whole series if I want to be really trolly. You know, not care about wins or losses, just go in there with all alchemy cards and just pee off the opponent. Ooh, I need to stop now. I'm going to start brewing some really heinous, trolly things. And my true nature is showing. Alright, so enjoy the final bit of this matchup, and look for more Timeless in the future. I'm not done with this format, but I'm not going to be able to grind it out every week. I don't want to kill my love of this format if I'm forced to play it every week. It doesn't have the sustainability for me. How does it feel for you? Maybe you love the format extensively. Are you going to continue playing it every now and again? Is it your go-to format? Let me know how you feel about it.